What's up? What's up? Now you know what time it is again. Of course, it's time for another movie review, and today I'll be reviewing the movie Mortal Kombat 2021. So this is the newest rendition of Mortal Kombat, as we know, or if you don't know, there were renditions that came out in the 90s, 95, and then also the sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation in 97. And I have to say, I really like this Mortal Kombat. To me, it's closest to the actual video game, what made it so controversial and also popular, which is the gore and the blatant violence of it all. I remember in the 90s, I was like a young kid, very, very young, maybe like 7 when the first one came out, and it was so much controversy in the mainstream media talking about, is this okay for kids, it's too dangerous, it's too graphic for kids. But it really wasn't. It didn't inspire any type of violence, but it just made it really popular because it was really one of a kind at the time. It was very much a new type of video game and a new type of way of playing a video game with new characters and just with the graphics and the gore. So it became very popular, and Hollywood decided to make a video game off of it. I mean, I'm sorry, a movie out of it and capitalize on it. And I really liked the first one that came out. Annihilation, not too much, the sequel, but it made a lot of money. It was very successful, the first one that came out in 1995. And the soundtrack was awesome too. The soundtrack actually went platinum for obvious reasons because it had a really kick butt soundtrack. Mortal Kombat, the theme song, it was absolutely great. And this one, like I said, it embodies, it's kind of even Steven that I kind of like it. I kind of like this one more, the newer one, because it's like I said, it's closer to the actual video game as far as the gore. This one is rated R. The one that came out in 1995, the first one, and also the original one, and then the sequel, they're PG-13. This one, we do have gore in it. Um, I really like the way it was shot. The opening first 8 minutes with Sub Zero, the history of Sub Zero and Scorpion is awesome. It's amazing. Sub Zero and Scorpion are really just great characters anyway in the video game and also in the films. The first original one, they're great too. And but this one, they established a real confrontational history with each other that really worked really well. I like the way the actor who played Jax was. I also like the actor who played Kano. He is so fun. He's a comic relief on such a serious, dangerous, life-changing situation. He is so funny. His fight scene with Reptile was just amazing. It was where he pulls out the heart, which is his signature fatality, and he shows the heart, and he's just so hilarious, so kick butt. I also like the actor who played Sonya Blade. I thought her and Jax's chemistry was really well, and I liked her particular narrative and how each character find each other. I thought it was really, really, really good. Um, there's this one character that was introduced called Cole, who was descendant of Scorpion, and ends up being the medium to Scorpion, the real world and the outworld, which there's some flaws to it. I think the actor was okay. He was kind of flat a little bit, but I thought it was just unnecessary to have this particular character be a descendant of Scorpion to tell the story. I'd rather just have Scorpion, the way Scorpion is manifested um, in the modern days, in the modern day of Mortal Kombat, works much better than having this character be the medium that he uses Cole as a vessel for him to come back, and I just, it wasn't necessary to me. I'd rather have Scorpion because the actor who plays Scorpion is really outstanding. Outworld and the real world, to me, there was no distinction like it was in the original film. The original film, Outworld, was really sinister and gritty and just lifeless, whereas in the real world it was very full of life, full of colors, full of nature. In this film, there's no distinction. It's like Outworld, the real world is pretty much look the same. So that is a flaw that I think it needs to be improved. I think the actual character of Cole was not necessary. They left out Johnny Cage, which is one of the original characters in the original video game, which was in the original movie, but he wasn't in this, which I thought was trash, was garbage. I think they should have traded in Cole and also Kung Lao, which is Liu Kang's cousin, for Johnny Cage. And then they also have Cabal. They also have Melina as Shang Tsung's henchman, and also Goro too, which is an original video game. But those characters, Kung Lao, Melina, Cabal, they're in Mortal Kombat 2 and also 3. I did notice some references to Katana and then another character that's in the new rendition of Mortal Kombat video game. I think it's like Mortal Kombat 8 or 9 or something like that. But I didn't think it was necessary. Like in the original film, they had Shang Tsung, and then they also had, it was actual arranged as a tournament. So they had all these different characters that they introduced that wasn't necessary in the video game, but that just existed in the actual Mortal Kombat tournament, which I thought worked really well. And this one didn't work so much to me. Um, because they just introduced a bunch of characters and made them like secondary characters when really they're primary characters that was introduced in the sequels to the video game of Mortal Kombat. So and they've just reduced them down basically to basic henchmen. Which I when I did like Cabal, Cabal was kind of like talking mess to like the heroes of Earth, which I liked. I wanted to see his face. They didn't even show his face, which part of his fatality because he ended up being defeated. But like I said, it was a waste of character. I did like some of the fatalities they had, like I mentioned earlier with Kano, and then also a fatality with spoiler alert with Goro, and also this is one creature that they introduced these random characters that weren't even in the Mortal Kombat video game or universe that was sliced in half by Cabal. It was looks great, but what's the significance of this character? Who is this character? It was just a henchman that was associated with Shang Tsung. We didn't get to see any powers from Shang Tsung except from him teleporting to different places in the outworld and also the real world. I thought the fight choreography could use some work, need some improvement. It wasn't that exciting. The fatalities was really good. I did also like how the characters end up getting their superhero powers because in the video game they have powers whether it's like a fireball or kind of some kind of flip or something that comes within them. So I liked that actual aspect of it where in the first one it's not even shown at all. The original one is not shown at all, but in this one it's incorporated. So I like the actors that they chose in the original. I like these actors that they chose in the remake of it. But the actors to me in the original were a little bit more better because of their performance, the direction, the obviously, and then also the cinematography of it being lighthearted. But I wanted to that incorporation, which they had lightheartedness, which is done through Kano. I really like the serious R-rated tone of the gore. But if they combined the lightheartedness, the good acting and the good casting choices combined with the rated R with the gore, and then also having Johnny Cage stop switching characters. Not they basically interchange characters for Cole and Cabal, and then Melina, and then these other characters that are in Mortal Kombat 2 for Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage should have been in there. He's referenced very at the very end of the film at a movie poster, but they don't show who's actually going to play him. But he should have been in the original film. It would have worked even better. Also, having distinction between Outworld and then also the real world would have been much better too. I had a lot of fun with this, though. I did. I thought it was like I said. I really enjoyed the serious tone of it with the rated R of it. The first one was more of had an actual arrangement of the tournament. And then this one, it was Shang Tsung just cheating and wanting to hurry up and just fight the champions of the real world on Earth and then take over the universe, basically take over Earth forever. In the sequel, it's like that in the 1997 sequel where another villain actually tries to cheat and try to take over Earth. But in this one, they incorporate that concept, which to me was just it was flat. It didn't really work. It really didn't work. And then also too, I like the way it was shot, um, but and I also like the different stages that they went to actually fight. But I actually wanted an actual tournament and be introduced to actual characters that were actually fighting in Mortal Kombat as opposed to the cheating. Um, the actor who played Lord Raiden was kind of was flat to me because they only showed his eyes being illuminated with lightning. He didn't really have any particular character or any depth or substance to him like in the original two. So that's something that needed to be improved too. But I did like it. I do want a sequel. I would like to see a sequel to it. I do like most of the cast that they cast into it. I like the concept of Mortal Kombat and how they incorporated it. They also expanded just a little bit. I wanted to expand a little bit more on what actually Mortal Kombat is, how it came to fruition, and how it's existed for so long. They talked about it very little bit, but they didn't actually expand on it more as I would like as I would like them to have. It would have made it more interesting. And then also too, am I forgetting? I think I might be forgetting something. Maybe one more thing. So they expanded on just the story, and then also how they actually get their powers too. it's some of it manifested their inner powers, like superhuman powers, manifested through anger, but with when the way Jax got his power, he was completely calm. So it wasn't really clear how they actually manifest their inner powers and inner superhero powers. So it was a few things that need to be improved, but I think it's actually a pretty good watchable film. So I give it a C plus. So please subscribe to my page if you like my videos, because I will be uploading at least one day a week of a review of a television show or film.